Welcome back, beautiful people, to episode 6. It kind of feels weird saying that. It feels like I've been around for a long time, but some of you have listened to my previous podcast called the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast, and there's like 130 episodes over there. So it feels like this doesn't feel like, it's a brand new thing because it's not, but it is in the context of it. So I'm just over here. We just got back in from a walk at the park, and I'm just floating in a space of. And I wanted to lean into the energy today, to chat with you guys, to bring forth in your field of it's like this timeline, this timing, this space of our evolution. And I wrote an email today and the subject matter, I just wanted to pull it up on my phone because I keep forgetting the subject matter. Why I keep forgetting it, I have no fucking clue. But it's called You Don't Need More Time. And it's like, if we let that land, obviously it's going to be the title of this episode. You don't need more time. It's like a lot of us are fucking waiting. We're waiting to say yes. We're waiting to make the moves. We're waiting for the timeline to be perfect. We're waiting for the money to come in. We're waiting for that person to do this, that's going to do that, then that's going to happen, that's going to happen, then we're going to make our move. And it's all fucking bullshit. So in this email, some of you might have seen this email come through. I talk into a scenario of when my ex-boyfriend, so my ex-boyfriend, my like ex-boyfriend, my twin flame ex-boyfriend, we had I wouldn't say it was toxic because it I guess it could be to a certain circumstantial point. And if I, step into the space and get really real with you, there was some toxicity in our relationship. But it's not like any of us abused each other. It's not like, now, granted, I definitely manipulated some situations. And he definitely did some shit behind my back that I don't even know if he'll ever admit. I tried to get him after we broke up and we were just kind of friends to admit the fact that he had done some of this, but he still left me hanging because I think that that challenge of nobody truly knowing was a thing for him, which whatever, totally granted. He might be married or he was about like he got engaged last year in the space of that. I haven't spoken to him in 3 years now. And it's just been an interesting journey in the space of that. But we were heated. And one of the twin flame qualities, if you guys don't know that about twin flames, is that we mirror each other's lessons to learn. So I am a walking fucking mirror for him as he is for me. And he would always be shining this mirror of independence at me. Own your shit, step up into the woman that I know that you are, fucking move it forward. And I always was pushing back against this. It's just a thing. And I mirrored his spirituality, his self-worth, his connection to self. Like that was my mirror that I played out in his space. And he was always that person, though, in my life that spoke truth. And I was on a coaching call today with one of our coaches, and like I'm in this membership group of his, and his whole message today was about fucking own your truth, speak your truth, stop fucking lying about shit, right? And so, my ex-boyfriend, his name's Andrew, he used to call me out on my shit all the time, and I hated it. Like I hated it. And it always got me flustered. And then we always got heated because I couldn't speak my words because it was always such an emotionally charged connection that we had. And it was super depthful and it was always in the spaces of shit. And then I'd end up crying and in this blubbering disaster mess. I couldn't speak anything. He'd be pissed off and angry. And, I would then later try to convince him to not be angry, especially like flaunting sex around to just try and get us back into equilibrium. But he landed some shit in my field consistently all the time. And I disliked it always. Like I was always like, fuck you, that's not true. And like we would move it through. And years later, when I look back on some of those scenarios, I go, he was fucking right. He was right. And he had the audacity to call me out. He stepped up into the space, even though it would be like this tumultuous, fucking torrid event that it would blow up in this energy field. And he knew because we were so charged, like even emotionally together. Like if you actually saw us, you'd be like, you guys are the epitome of a fucking relationship. We were that good. But in the back end, we were also that fucking frictioned. And because we were refusing to do the work on ourselves, we were up against the timeline of like twin flame energy. So it was just fucking disastrous in the space of it all. And so it's really interesting to look back on this. It's like you don't need more time. When he landed that in my field, if I would have taken it and received it and integrated it, I would be way further along in my journey. Now, I'm not standing here being all hoity-toity, regretful, and like playing me my fucking violin. I'm in this energy field. Totally not what's transpiring. But if I really look back on that and become honest, I'm like, shit, like there's something to that. So I want to call you out today. I want to call you out and up, actually. I don't want to call down to you. I want to call you up into the space to start to recognize this in your life. Is like, what fucking excuses are you making in your world right now that are minimizing the work, that you are getting away with something in the field, that you are not giving it your all, and it's not affecting anybody but you? It's affecting your money, it's affecting your impact, it's affecting your results, it's affecting how you're showing up in the world, it's affecting how you're with your clients, it's affecting how your body is transmuting energy. You your excuses, your stories, your choices. And it's like the more we delay shit, the more we're waiting for the right time, the more we're in this space of this evolution of like not taking responsibility for ourselves. Years go by. Some of you have been cycling for years, and I call it out because I get you. I was there. I have been here. I have worked the system. Guys, I fucking know the ins and outs and shortcuts of shit all the time. Like, I fucking get it. And it got me nowhere. It got me cycling. Yeah, sure. Making $10,000 months is amazing. Like, there's a lot of people in the world that will never, ever make that kind of money. I understand and I'm grateful. But I was cycling under a mediocre system that I had created for myself in this fucking cage that I was pretending wasn't a cage, that I was in this liberation when I was fucking suffocating in my life all day long. And let me move some energy through for that one. And it's like when we actually look at this, and don't look at it from a way of like, poor me, but look at this from a way of like, why the fuck am I creating this in my life? And why am I not stepping up? And a lot of us are scared as fuck to do the work. I have a lot of courage, okay? And a lot of the decisions I've made in my life, some of you guys have known me for a while in the space of this, but it's like I take action and courageous action. Some people think that moving from one place in Costa Rica to living in a city where I know no one is courageous. And in my mind, I'm like, is that really courage? Because this is who I am, right? But I do come up against my edge sometimes. I do get nervous, when I'm in certain rooms. There's a certain person in my world. Every time I fucking see him, I get nervous. And like, I was asked to speak at his event back in December of 2024, and I got fucking nervous. And some of you are watching the video, you're like, ooh, like, you could feel it on me. And I don't get nervous. Okay. Like, like, everything I do is connected, and I just like channel into the space of how I evolve and how I show up. Like, I don't prep for summits. I don't prep for master classes. I don't prep to teach. Like, I go into other rooms and I could just fucking own it, and I'm in the space and I'm stepped up and in. But it's like there's some people in my life that I get nervous around. And why? Who the fuck knows? Okay, we'll just put that over there. That's a whole other fucking podcast episode. But it's like there's this energy that plays out in the field, and I don't lack courage. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I've got to go and push myself through into the space of, but that's not my issue, but that might be yours, that you are living under this fucking fear and you're not actually stepping up. So you're creating these distractions, these distortions, you're creating this mechanism, these storylines, these excuses that are holding you in the pattern that's keeping you floundering here. And one of the excuses is, I don't have enough time. Well, I'm going to wait for this, or I'm going to do this and da 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 da. When it's like God divine is calling you fucking up and is like asking you to step up into the space to own this, is moving this needle through to be like, we need to get to here. Like, you're not playing here any longer. You've been fucking playing around here for way too long already. And it's like, if you let that really land in your energy right now, you're going to come into this space with me to be like, fuck, that's true. And it's like when we feel this in our bodies and let ourselves move through this to be like, it's never the right time. Like, there's never a perfect moment for shit to happen. And they always say it's like when you're desiring to meet your soulmate or shit like that, it's like when you keep looking and looking and looking for them. And then all of a sudden you actually go and live your life. They show up, and sometimes they're in the moments of like this massive fucking chaos and they're showing up in your world. And it's like, this isn't the right time. It's like, well, it is actually. It's like there's never a right space, right? It's like I say this all the time to my clients. We're never ready to do shadow work. We're never ready to drop into the shadow parts of us and actually address the shit like this right now in the space of everything. It's like we're never ready, but we need to. And I say that with grace because you don't need to do anything. But for this podcast episode, that's the call out. Okay. We need to shift this. We need to make decisions and decide that we are no longer playing in the game of waiting, in the game of like holding space over here, in the game of watching and like, well, when that happens, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. I when I wrote this email this morning, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone here. I wrote here, I know multimillionaires that keep blowing up their life because they refuse to deal with their underlying energy of not feeling worthy to hold it. I know business owners that refuse to own their truth, so they keep cycling in their okay business models instead of living a connected and juicy as fuck life that they're meant to. I know souls working in corporate where their jobs are sucking them dry and they still and are still only half in on their business that will liberate them because they're scared as fuck to actually be free. We all have our shit. You do not need more time. You need to action. You need to decide and take an action and decide and take an action and fucking just go and move. And it's not going to look pretty at first. Like, guys, I look back at some of the versions of my business, like, oh my God, I fucking laugh. And some of you guys watching the video, it's like I'm fucking smiling ear to ear because it's just like, I remember my first ever business card. So, like, when I got into business, this is how this literally happened. I want to tell you guys this story because I think it's important to understand. I didn't have all the fucking answers. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have a polished resume. Later on my journey, I got assets in the space of, but when I started this, like my entrepreneurship journey, almost 17 years ago in May, okay, almost 17 years ago, here's how it looked. I was working for a mentor, um, who was self-employed. He ran numerous companies. Well, he was an owner of corporations, and he saw my talent, which I hadn't seen yet. Okay. I knew I was kind of good, but I didn't know. Okay. I really didn't. I had that low self-esteem. I played in the game of I'm not enough. Like that was a fucking system I ran for years and years and years. It took me a long time to fucking leave that one. Okay. And he could see through who I was as a person. He's like, she's a fucking driver. She's ambitious. She knows. I was all in. And he was my mentor in Amway. Okay. So he had made millions of dollars in Amway. He was this bright, shining light in the world. And I was just like gaga for this space of like, he knows the path. I'm going to follow him. I later found out I was actually under a spell in his energetic field. So that made a whole bunch more sense once that transitioned. But I worked for him pretty much 7 days a week, 18-hour days. So one of the commitments I made when I came into his space was that I would give him everything, all my energy. I wouldn't make money anywhere else, and he paid me $1,000 a month. Can you imagine living on $1,000 a month? At the time, I was in my rental parents' property, so I was renting a room for $500 a month. I didn't have a vehicle, but I had a cell phone bill and I had to eat. It's a lot to hold, right? And it's so interesting that this whole entire journey. And so I was barely getting by, like, let's just call it that. But he kept me on a short leash with this energy of, let's get this built up and then you'll get percentages in the companies. We were building a personal development corporation. I ended up becoming one of the coaches with him just by learning. Like I was in every single session he taught. I was his right hand. I then became his like in fucking house nanny pretty much that would leave late at night after the kids were done. And then I'd come back in the fucking morning. And some days I'd wake the kids up, get them ready, feed them breakfast, and take them to fucking school. So like I pretty much did all the things, like all of it. And then I ran his back end of his businesses. I scheduled calls. I ended up being a coach in his programs and all that kind of stuff. And in May of that year, which literally is, I guess it was July, so it won't be May, but I met my first spiritual mentor in May. She actually came into his house and I met her that day and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And then Spirit said to me, "You need to do a session with her." And I was like, "Oh my God." And then she refused at first because I had an entity in my field. This is a whole other fucking story. But she could feel the energy, but Spirit said to her, "She needs your help. Like you need to help her." She ended up becoming my mentor for 5 years. I ended up going to see like a hypnotic specialist that dealt with entities later on, not having the gift of what I have now to clear entities. It just makes so much sense because we authentically go through this shit in order to teach it, right? So I do a lot of shadow work that way, clearing entities, demonic shit, like all the fucking, like I can feel energies. And my animals are also protectors of it. They can feel energies too off of people. It's really interesting when you watch Lily out and about. There's a lot of people she'll go up to, she'll say hi to, she'll wag her tail. And there's others, she's like in full blown growl. Like she's like, don't fucking come near me. And it's really interesting to watch. And so she ended up saying yes. And on the Monday of the May long weekend, we met for this appointment. I took my cell phone bill, money, and paid her. Like I didn't have the money, like at all, because he kept me so capped in this landscape of energy. And I could have waited till I had the money. I could have waited till this and that, but it was like, no, spirit's like, you need to do this. And I trusted this space. I trusted the mechanism. I just was like, I need to do this. I'm going to fucking do it. I don't care. My cell phone bill's not going to be late. It took me, I think, 18 months to get it back into alignment. 18 months. Okay. Like I revolved and revolved and revolved. Maybe I paid off a little bit, but I was always behind for a long fucking time. And it's like, but that was the cost of actually being liberated. And so I met her and we did our thing and we were doing this clearing that she was going to do. And it's called like, it's her own modality with laser. And she said to me, look, I just really need you to understand your life is about to change. Like when we do this clearing, your whole life is about to change. And all I knew was I had to say yes. And I don't know why, but it was like a couple days later. So I don't know why I didn't go in to work or what. I don't know what transpired, but it was almost like the veil popped. Like the spell had been released and now all of a sudden I could see. And I went into work and I was like, what the fuck? And I found out my mentor was lying to people and to me. There was a whole bunch of shit going down. He had said a whole bunch of stuff was happening, and then his wife told me a different story. Like it was like this whole big thing. And in July of that year, I ended up saying no bueno, no more. My ex-boyfriend, my twin flame came into the picture in like literally that weekend. The day that I met my spiritual mentor was the day I met him. Like we went to this appointment in the morning and then because he came in through our coaching portal and then I met her. And then him and I ended up coaching him. It was really interesting. And I ended up at his place one night and I wanted him to watch this movie, Sweet November, if any of you know it, because his energy was almost like it wasn't Keanu Reeves like driven like that, but he had all of these pockets and it was him now being able to trust in relationships and love. And part of our journey together was that space. Like he is with one of my ex-friends, because she went behind my back to date him, and they're now together and they've been together for years and they're getting married. And I'm just like, whatever. Like whoever does whatever they want to do, as long as everyone's connected in the space of what they desire, have a great time. But in July, I had left my mentor's place. I had $40 in my wallet. The people I lived in their house said, Colleen, like, don't even worry about rent next month. Like, we've got you. I ended up paying rent anyways. My newfound boyfriend lent me the money to just get by. I went and challenged my aerobics certification. I went and got that. I found a job that needed an instructor for like, I don't know, 6 classes a week. And it paid more teaching 6 hours a week than it did where I was, mentorship. And it was only 6 hours. So then I had space time to actually build the business. And I knew nothing. Like I knew what I saw in this coaching space, but I didn't have anything. I took one client with me who wasn't paying me and we started. And I just started and I started to go out to like I was networking, I was driving the people into our coaching programs anyway. So I just started to do it for myself. And I went out in the space of it and I just threw mud against the wall. People were like, hey, can you create a website for me? And I was like, yeah. I go to Google, I'm like, how fucking create a website? Like, and I built them back then. It wasn't as sophisticated, let's say now, although you can go to YouTube and learn how to build your own website. And I could effectively do that and learn the softwares. And I have a really good tech energy background. But it's like the environment wasn't perfect. There wasn't a right time. Like I just knew I needed to, and I just leapt and did. I could have stayed in that space, but he was now ripping people off, and the energy was so off. And then he was telling me shit about Andrew because he had found out that him and I were dating, and he's like, you could have sex with him, but you can't fucking do this, da da da. And he gave me an ultimatum. And that night I went home and I went, what do I need to do? And I just went, I'm done. And then I figured it fucking out. And did I figure it out in the most elegant, graceful way? Fuck no. I have so many other stories to tell you guys in connection with that. But you don't need more time. You need to decide and figure it the fuck out. And you need to step the fuck in every single day and move it forward because that's the ignition. That's the light. There's never going to be a beautiful expanded time for you to do this. And those of you that think that there is, and you're prepping and you're prepping and you're prepping and you're prepping, you're just fucking delaying the inevitable. All of us will have chaos. All of us go through struggle. All of us are tested on the work we've already done. All of us doubt our abilities at one point in time in the fucking mechanism. And it'll happen again and again. But you just keep moving through and you keep choosing and you keep choosing and you keep choosing and you keep deciding that you're worthy enough to live the life you desire to live. Not in the mediocre part, not in this aspect of space, but in the true essence of this energy. And it's like if you let that land in your field right now and you receive that from me, it's like there is so much power behind this conversation. So, what choice do you need to make in your life right now to shift the gears? And yeah, I pretty much have the audacity here. It's really kind of fun that all this transition came through. I was not planning on talking about this. Um, I haven't spoke my ex's name in public in a long time, and super interesting how it came through today. And I'm just trusting the mechanism. You know, who knows? He may even fucking listen to this podcast. Like, I don't have a fucking clue. But it's like one of those dynamic things of like, it's never the right time. It's never the right time to say I'm sorry. It's never the right time to own your shit. It's never the right time. The time is now. Right now, people. Right now. So now I feel complete. I feel complete in our all it's all bullshit podcast here because waiting for the right time is all bullshit. Let's just call it that. All right. I think I'm good. You guys can listen to the end rollout where I tell you to share it with a friend and help spread the word. But I love you guys so much and thank you for being here and listening to my rants and taking whatever you need from them in the space of your own evolution. Let's go make a difference in the world, people. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.